Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Thursday's live stream. Thursday's futures trading. We're going to be trading the NASDAQ today. My name is Tyler, if you're here for the first time. And I'm going to be navigating you through the wild world of day trading futures. And if you are watching this after the fact, you can jump to the key moments of all the trades I've taken, all the details using the chapter markers below, where I give an explanation of what I was thinking and why. Now, during the live streams, we're going to be sharing my daily trading bias. We're going to be giving you live front seat to all the trades that are taken, along with the explanation of what we were thinking. And it's going to be a good time. If you are looking to take your trading to the next level, we'll go on to the second thing, and then we'll go ahead and open in prayer and rock and roll. Good morning, Northern. Is that if you're looking to take your trading to the next level, I trade with Apex, and I use their funded accounts. You can get an eval account with Apex by using the code DTJ, and you'll get the most updated discount that Apex is offering at the moment. And the discounts range anywhere from 50 to 90% off depending on the time and the promotion they're running. But you can use that code DTJ, and it'll give you the most updated discount around. With that being said, let's go ahead and open in prayer. And we're going to rock and roll. Good morning, Epic. Father, we just honor you this morning. We thank you for the opportunity we have as traders to trade. Lord, I just pray for wisdom. I pray for insight and understanding of the market, that you'd give us wisdom, that you'd give us insight and understanding of what's happening, of what the market is doing. And Lord, that I just pray that you would give us strength and determination to exercise our plan, to exercise our strategy, and to not be manipulated by the whims of the market. Father, we thank you and we honor you in our trading in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, folks, welcome. Good morning. Good morning. It's going to be a good day today. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Today we have some news. Today's Thursday. We have news at 7:30 a.m. We had unemployment claims. Let's see if we can see that. Is that it right there? Yep, right there. Unemployment claims. All you got to do is look for the candle with big wicks right there. 7:30. So we had some news then, and then we have news at 9, and then just light news at 9. Not very much. So we're pretty much clear to go. Nothing hold us back. With FOMC being, with NFP, non-farm payroll being tomorrow, we're going to be trading very light. We'll be probably using 1 or 2 micros. And with the volatility that we've been seeing in the market, we are going to make sure we are protecting ourselves in our trading, and so should you. Tomorrow will be a much better day for trading. Today, we'll find out how the market wants to be. And with that being said, let's talk about what is going on a higher time perspective. Okay, so I have our times marked out. I have our previous day high, or previous day low and previous day high, and I have our midpoint of the previous day's range. Now, I also added on here, because of this giant wick, we have a very large wick. That's pretty large. I also added the midpoint of that wick right here. So we want to see if price wants to stay above this area or if it's going to stay below. If it's staying below, there's a high probability we'll see price run this low. Now, we had a fake break day yesterday. This high did not break the previous day's high, and this low didn't break the previous day's low. That's what I said I expected it to do. It came all the way back, almost taking the high, but it didn't, and it left it there. So the question is going to be, does it want to run the low or the high? If I had to put a guess to it, I would say I think the high. There's more liquidity, I believe, sitting at the high. We have this high and this high sitting right there. So I'm looking at price finding resistance or support down here. And if we drop down to the 4-hour, you're going to see a potential 4-hour sweep that I have marked out right here. This candle sweeping this low and then expanding by 10 a.m. to this high. Maybe 10 a.m., maybe not all the way 10 a.m. We'll see. If we break it down to the 1 hour, the 1 hour is sitting nothing insignificant. We see that this candle right here has come up into this order block right there, and we've closed below this fair value gap sitting right there. We're sitting underneath the previous day wick, so we have November lows right there and previous day lows sitting right there. But if we drop down to the 15-minute, this is where my interest is lying. We're in a 15-minute fair value gap right now. This is a 15-minute fair value gap, and we have found support. And look at the bodies of the candles. The last 5 candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all have stayed in the premium portion of this fair value gap. This is enough for me to begin to look for a long. To begin to look for that long. So I'm interested in looking for longs and looking for structure that's going to support a long. How that's going to play out, we don't know. We still have 9 minutes before market opens. And we have a very large opening range gap. Our opening range gap is over 300 points. And when you have a 300 point, when you have 120 points, there's a pretty decent probability it's not fully closed. So that's not in our favor. We do have our our new day opening gap sitting here, and we have our London high and midnight open, which both have been not tagged yet in the London session nor any other time. So this will be tagged today, if not tomorrow. So I really like looking for this to play out. That's kind of what. Do we need this to hit to take a trade? No. We could plan on moving it that direction and just take our profits at the midpoint of this opening range gap. Take our profits at the equilibrium of the previous day range. Take our profits at the monthly low. Do you see what I'm saying? We don't need it to actually hit the target to actually take the trade. But there's a lot of room for us to go this direction. A lot of room. So that's why I like that. We just need to watch to see how it wants to react and find support around this 15-minute. If it doesn't find support at the 15-minute, is there anything below that? If we look at the 5-minute, this is a large 5-minute fair value gap too. So maybe we dig a little bit deeper in this 5-minute. So let's mark that 5-minute out just so we have it. And then there is a breaker sitting right here in the form of in the form of an order block, a down closed or a bullish order block. So this is a breaker as well. I'd call that a bullish breaker. So we're gonna mark that out in case it wants to, show a little animation and reach down to these levels. That's kind of what I would be thinking that it could do. I think that pretty much covers it, folks. I think that is the meat and bones of it all today. Epic, good morning. Ricardo, Tila, Victor, good morning. Hi from the UK, welcome. Epic, you wanted to say thank you. Trading didn't make sense to me until I found you and started recognizing how price moves. You've shown me a new world and I'm excited to start trading. That made my day, Epic. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. I teach it and I wonder if it's making any sense. I'm glad it is. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get my chart all ready to go. We're going to be taking trades on our TradingView platform. That's where I'll be taking the trades. We'll be looking for a 930 model. We got 5 minutes before 9:30. We'll see if it wants to trade. So we'll be taking our trades. I have it set up to drop the screen on here just like that. So that is where my trades will be taken. It's going to be a smaller screen. I could switch over to the full screen if I want to, if we really want to look into the executions. But that's where I'll be taking trades this morning. Yeah, I think that covers it. I haven't dropped down to the 1 minute yet. I'm still looking at the 5 minute. We got the 5 minute and 15 minute. You can see that the 5 minutes also has respected the premium, has stayed in the premium portion of that fair value gap. Look at the 15 minute. That 15 minute perfectly overlaps with the 5 minutes premium portion. Okay? I think that's very algorithmic, and it gives me confidence for a potential long. Let's drop down to the 1 minute. What do we got for the 1 minute? We got low resistance liquidity. We got all these highs sitting right here. We got this one fair value gap right there that could pose a little hiccup in the move. But let's see what price wants to do here in a couple minutes, huh? Hang on 1 second, forgot my coffee. Good morning, Tony Guttenberg. Okay, awesome. Let's rock and roll. So yesterday and so far this week has been green, but it hasn't been the easiest. I have reduced my size because of the high volatility that we've been experiencing. I'm just not, I mean, yesterday, the volatility yesterday was insane. Insane. Just, we think price will tap previous day low, then go higher. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to tap previous day low. I mean, I could be wrong, but there's only a 12% chance that it runs the low and then reaches the high, which is way up here. Now, it could run the low and then stay in here all day. That's a possibility. That's if that happens, we'll know fairly soon what it's going to do. If it respects this, I'm looking long term, or I would like it to reach this previous day high here. Because it just makes, on the higher time frame, it makes more sense to reach for those levels because there's a previous day high here and then there's a previous day high sitting right above that. All right, 2 minutes till market opens. Personally would like to see this swept if I'm going to take the 930 model, or I need to see a green candle that would create a change in state of delivery. All right, so there's our wick. I don't want it to close below. I want it to close above. If it closes below, I won't be taking it.
Order submitted.
See if that gives it to us. Nope, it did not. So that will be a loss there. Close it after my appropriate time. All right. That was a loss. I wanted it to run that low and then take off, but I hit the breaker, and let's see how it reacts here. Well, I'm glad you took the short. I didn't. We have this breaker marked out. We'll see how it reacts with this breaker. Let's mark out 930. Epic, you might be right. You might be right. We might be running for that low right there. We'll see if it wants to take it or not. This does not count as our first fair value gap. Presented fair value gap needs to be after 930. Mickey, you might be right. Yeah. I just don't have an entry point. There's no entry for me here. We'll see if this next candle, not this one, but the next candle closes above or below this 5 minute. That will determine if that 5 minute fills it or if it stays within it. After a tough February with Trump's news flashes, break even on balance, I now secured a new live account. All right, man, friend, way to go. The ranges are insane. Yesterday was insane. I mean, some of these quick trades that I would take are 40 handles. I mean, 40, 50 handles. Some of these 2 candles were 150 points. Just crazy. So this 5-minute closed inside of the 5-minute. So this 5-minute candle here that just closed, it did close, in fact, inside of that 5-minute fair value gap. We'll see if this candle, which has 3 minutes on it, we'll see if it wants to run the previous day low and then retrace back in there. That would be a very bullish sign. Five minutes respecting that breaker. The breaker is on the 5-minute time frame. This is that breaker. You could even go towards the slower end. My initial opportunity will be this inversion right here. It doesn't look bad. Would I prefer this to be tagged? Yes, but we did sweep a little bit of liquidity here. If we go from here directly higher, that's to me that's intention and could mean that this is ran right here. But if we still do this and then take it, I'm not as interested in it. I want to see the manipulation and then the aggressive move. So 2 candles at most. So this next candle is kind of where I'd want it to take place. We do have a first fair value gap that's about to be put in here. It will be this candle right there. And I think I am. Let's see where it closes. We're going to take that. See if it gives it to us. Stop needs to be moved to break even. We just swept that mini high. I'm going to keep it at 20 handles here for a target. Actually, we're going to go higher if it's getting that close. All right, stop me out at break even. That's why we did it. We swept a minor buy side liquidity sitting right here. And so when you sweep that minor buy side, you need to move your stop to break even very quickly in case it wants to run against you. And while it may not run against us, it may actually find support at this breaker, which is an entry opportunity. We're going to see how it reacts to this first fair value gap. This is an inversion to the downside to the previous day low. That's a possibility. I was willing to take it because I've seen these lows not taken before, but it looks like it wants to run that way based on that candle there. Let's see if it closes below this. All right, it's respected that first fair value gap. That looks nice. And see if this wants to go higher here. We're going to wait for it to leave this range because it's not wanting to expand or contract based on these levels that we're seeing. See, look at the size of this candle. This candle here is over 40 points. One candle. Way to go, Northern. I wouldn't risk losing anything either. Might trade 1 micro from now on. Tony? So at this point, what we're waiting for is displacement one way or the other. Either I want to see us run this and move higher, or I want to see a 5-minute change in state of delivery. I'm not going to trade until I see a 5-minute change in state of delivery. We tried that trade right here. Didn't work out. We watched price come into the first fair value gap and reject and move higher, but then stop and move back lower, disrespecting that first fair value gap, then running lower but not running this low. Everything is saying don't trade right now. So we're going to sit on our hands and we're going to wait. Oh, by far, it's the hardest thing to do because it's 90% of what you do, and you do it so much, you just want to click the button. You can't. Just that tiny little button. That tiny little button can make you happy or destroy. All right, so 5 minute. We have a minute and a half left. Yes, there is a trailing stop loss, Javier. If you're on a 50K account, that trailing stop loss is $2,500. $2,500 based on the highest point that you've been at, and that includes unrealized gains. So if you let your profits get up to, let's say, $52,000, but you close the trade at $51,000, your 2,000 trail drawdown limit would only go down to 49,500 because you went up to 52,000. But that only happens on your up to 53,000. Anything above 53,000, there is no drawdown limit. It's only during your buffer zone. So once you get out of your buffer zone, you don't have a trailing drawdown anymore. I loved your video about how the other day where you were speaking about emotional trading. That was very funny and true. Emotional trading is legit. All right, let's see if we close above this on the 5 minute. And no, we are not going to close. No 5 minute change in state of delivery. And that is 950 right now. What a gap right here. What is this? How does that even happen? Your 15-minute change in state of delivery would be up here. Your hourly candle could turn into a nice little sweep of liquidity. That'd be nice. That would give us a 5 hour or 5 minute entry. Got 8 minutes for that though. We'll see where that goes. Got 3 minutes left before we get a 5-minute change in state of delivery. We have a breaker here, low, high, lower, low. That would be our breaker. We also have 930 sitting right here. I am a little concerned about this right here. We basically skipped over it. Yeah, I'm not interested in the bearish breaker, personally. Am I missing candles? That's strange. I'm looking for a tag of 930 or the breaker, and I might go long. I just want an aggressive candle lower, because I feel to be on the right side of the move, it's to go higher. That's just what I think. Yeah, I'm looking at my TradingView account, and it also shows that there's a candle there, so. How are we going to react right here? Day before NFP choppy? Yes. I really want to see this expand right here. Expand higher. I don't know what this level is. This is my 1 hour sweep of liquidity. My chart is missing a candle. That's crazy. All right, let's see how it respects this first fair value gap, if it's going to respect it or disrespect it right here. I think that's our last hope for higher prices. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see how this respects this. If it respects it, our only really option would be is this inversion right here. I blew my funded last week, then passed another in 2 days, aggressively scalping, and now it is easy on funded until next week. Taking it easy, yes. I like how we're holding right here at least. We got 1 minute, 4 seconds basically. There's the 10 o'clock candle. Here's our inversion. If it closes above and gives me an entry, I'll probably take it. I like the reaction on the at 10 o'clock. See if it wants to give it to us. Doesn't look like it. Nothing yet. Watching this level right here. Okay, we're going to take that. Once it hits this swing high, we have to move our stop to break even. And if this doesn't play out, then I'll probably be done for the day, to be honest, because price action's pretty crappy. Waiting for the close. All right, stops at break even now. I haven't taken anything yet, letting this see if it wants to just push higher here. Let me get my chart there. See if we can reach that next high. I'm going to take 3 off there. We'll see if it can keep us. I got a horrible fill on that. It wasn't as low as I wanted it to be. I want to see this push higher, and my target's going to be the midpoint of this opening range gap. It's going to be at 20,460. If we can't get higher above this on a second try here, then I might change my plan, because this is the midpoint of that wick. I need to see us push through it, and right now we're respecting it. So this is the last shot. We need to push through it. Not just a wick. I want to see us expand. I'm going to sell one more there. See how we closed? We closed on that level again. See how we're closing on that level? I don't like that. Why are we respecting that level? Unless we want to come back for a deeper retracement, and I don't know if I want to come back for that deeper retracement. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. I'm going to go ahead and sell that. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with that. I don't think we should take any more trades. Just knowing the market that we've been in. So the lesson here is when we're looking at breakers, just staying away from breakers inside of this mess is probably a good idea. Breakers, I mean, we did have an inversion in here, but we respected that first fair value gap, and it was after news. We saw a nice big wick, and we expanded and closed higher, and we saw the big explosion higher. So nice move overall. That gave us almost 100 handles. But the lesson, even for the trade that I took on this inversion, is patience. Patience is what wins. We had to wait roughly 30 minutes. Can you wait 30 minutes for a trade? That's the question. Do we expand from here or do we consolidate? What do you guys think? Do we stay here or do we expand higher? I would like to see the expansion grow. I would like to see this to be the midpoint. So if we look at that as a midpoint of a move, where that would put us right at the new day opening gap. That'd be really nice. But I don't want it to run much lower than what it is already. I want to see it, for the most part, respect this fair value gap right here. That's what it needs to respect, and then move higher. We rebalance that. We have a 5-minute breaker right here. Sitting right there. The 15 minutes gonna give us a breaker as well. Right there. See how it's been staying inside this? That's what I want to see, but I really want to see that expansion. I'm guessing we're going to have to wait 4 seconds till the next 15-minute candle opens up to see what happens here. All right, so this is a new 15-minute candle. Let's see if we get an expansion from here. There's the new 15-minute candle I'm talking about. We want to see if it wants to reach up to this level here. We've got a lot of low resistance liquidity. Not a single fair value gap, just liquidity. We got equal highs right here. There's not, I mean, our first fair value gap is sitting up way up here, and my target is right here if I'm looking for price to continue expanding higher. So how we grab these equal highs right here is going to tell me, do we just sweep it and reject, or do we push through them? That's going to be our sign. All right, so we just swept those. And are we going to close inside this range, or are we going to close above it? It's not looking promising. Look how it did that. Still looks like it could go higher from right here. I'm not a fan of how that candle closed, though. Can it go down to the 1 minute fair value gap below? Yeah, it could, but this is the first one. If we are in a buy program, it should respect this one right here and expand higher. If we're going to be in a range day or a high resistance liquidity day, we're going to see it come back all the way down here. But we want to see it expand higher from here. That's pretty close to the opening range gap that we could see a retracement from there if we're going to get a candle like this. If we get that closed inside this candle. So either this candle just continues higher, or we're going to see a retracement. Just like, look at this last candle. This candle wicked higher, closed here. The next candle expanded higher. This one went higher, came back down. This one needs to expand, or we're probably going to see a deeper retracement. Equal highs there. Nice little push. So see how it respected this fair value gap right here for the most part, pretty much, and then expanded higher. That first fair value gap is always pretty important. So when you see it respecting this, it needs to expand higher if it has a higher target, which this does, in my opinion. So we're sitting at previous day equilibrium right now. There has to be some type of pullback. I expect some type of pullback. I don't know how big it's going to be though. That's the only thing. We could just see this we could just see this just pushed all the way up there. I don't know. So equilibrium, we're sitting at some points of resistance here, right around here. So I would want to see a little bit of a retracement. How much that, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Here's the middle of the range. That's 50%. We just inversed a fair value gap. We should see it expand a little bit. We'll see how low it wants to go. One hour fair value gap just above current price. Yes, sir. We probably will reach there. It's just going to give us a little bit of a retracement here. 15-minute. It could, once this 15-minute closes, it could retrace all the way down into this 15-minute. That's a real possibility. Maybe tag this breaker and then expand higher again. We have a little bit of a breaker here. What do you think? Do we think we hit that breaker, or do we push right through it? Looks like we might push right through it. Until we're at 10:30 right now, so I'm going to guess we're going to get some of this until the 11 a.m. macro. And then at 11, I would like to see it run here, but it doesn't have to, I guess. It really doesn't. We hit a major point of interest, which is the previous day equilibrium and halfway through this opening range gap. On these larger gaps, I'm happy to see the halfway point be filled. As you can see, look at that, guys. So here's our opening range gap, and look where the midpoint is, and look where price ran. So we see some type of resistance there. That's why you want to take profit at these levels. Now, the way this is playing out, I like it, but I don't know. It looks pretty aggressive. I personally, even though I'd want to go long here, I wouldn't, because I feel like it could come up here and then just retrace. That's what I would be afraid of. I've had that happen too many times to me, and it doesn't feel good when that happens. I don't like how big this pullback is. It's acting like it just wants to drop. No, it's not going to drop. It's going to range. It's not going to come back down all the way. It's not going to come back down here. It's not going to come back down here. It's ranging. And that is very common. So when you see a big push like this, where is the logical place for it to come back to if it wants to retrace? Well, an area of support, which this initial fair value gap is sitting. So this is common. It just sucks that it's that big. So now I expect it to range probably in between here. Between these here, this is what I expect it to do. And right now, it looks really nice to potentially want to go higher, but I don't think it's going to right now. Even if we close above this fair value gap, I don't think we go higher. Or if we do, it's going to be like this. Till 10:45 and then maybe pop. But we're going to probably range inside this. That's what I would expect. Now, if you're asking yourself, well, how do you know that could be the case? Well, I've just seen price action enough. I've seen it do these things where when we're at middle of in between macros, that it does this kind of stuff. Yeah, it may dig a little deeper. It may come all the way down to the midpoint of that, or the midpoint of this range right here, which also would be a breaker. That's a real possibility. The other thing is we could just do this till the afternoon and then shoot higher. Like, there's so many different scenarios. And so your job as a trader is to recognize, when does the potential good move start, like it did here. We did a decent job. I called out multiple potential trades in this crap, and that tells me I have some work to do. I'm not as good as it may sound on the other end, just because I have such a higher expectation on how I read price action. I shouldn't have called out any of these. The only one that I'm okay with, and I did take, was this one right here, this inversion to the upside right here. That's the only one, because we didn't get this ranging price action yet. We didn't. We came down, made a low, and we expanded higher. It did what I wanted it to do, so it was worth it. Everything else in here, potential breaker, potential long, inversion, blah, 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 all this crap I shouldn't have even mentioned. I should just read it as price action. And then when we saw this is where the aha moment should have been. News, wick, closed green, inversion right away, take your trade. So as a trader, for myself, my mission is to become patient enough to say, I don't like any of this. Yeah, it could be a trade, but I don't like it, so I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to read price action and see how it plays out. And if I miss something, I miss something. But this right here should be a bell ringing in your head that says a long's about to take place. And that's what I need to become better at. I mean, we got the trade. We won the trade. I just don't think I'm frustrated. Let me rephrase that. I'm not frustrated. I see the area of growth in my trading to stay completely away from this kind of environment, and knowing when this environment is over and when is this environment going to start again. So my guess is that we're about to see this same environment we saw here begin in here. But it takes a lot of skill, and I'm not saying I got it because I could be wrong, but it takes a lot of screen time to be able to potentially recognize that this could be the case. I could be wrong. But that's part of the game, is being able to recognize and being able to do that. Now, I think, I mean, the price action currently is decent. It's currently decent. I'm not sure. Give me a second. Hey, can I give you a call back in a few minutes? All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. So there's a lot. Trading is not easy. Trading is one of the hardest skill sets to master. And I personally feel like I have such a long ways to go. Why do I say that? Well, if I'm 100% honest with you, there's trades that I take that I don't take on screen because I don't think they're appropriate for my trading audience, but I take them off screen and I get frustrated on some of the trades that I take. Not necessarily today, but just in general. Because, I mean, not everybody, you're not privy to everything that I take. If I take a trade because maybe I like it, but it doesn't follow my rules. Those types of instances are what I get frustrated about the most, to be honest. So taking trades inside of this wouldn't be uncommon, or let me rephrase it another way, isn't impossible for me to do. And trades like that are I've made a commitment to in 2025 to completely remove. So when I see, January and February is a very hard month, and a big reason for that is because I took trades in this. And I want to eliminate that completely. So it's being able to sit and not do anything in this, and then even though something may look decent or you get excited that you see a setup because you hate sitting on your hands, it's waiting for these moments right here that make the waiting worth it. This was a wonderful trade. That was 100 points. Can you imagine just taking this and not taking anything else? What would happen with your P&L? It'd be great. You would see a huge increase in your profitability and not have to deal with your P&L going like this. Looks like a chart itself. You could probably, learn to go long and short based on the P&L that you have. So I want to eliminate that in 2025, and that's my commitment. And as I've shared on X, there's always a deeper level of commitment. There's always a deeper level of commitment that you can find and take and commit to. And the question is, can you do it? All right, so if this closes above, I'm still not interested in it. I just need to thank the Lord that He gave me a good trade and not get greedy. Yes. All right, so now, what did I say? I said that this could do this till then, but we're not getting that, as you can tell. Let's see what happens on this next candle. Do we come back down into this range, or do we continue to expand? Do we find support here to move higher, or do we come back down inside this range? And there was not a trade opportunity there. I just want to let you guys know. There is no entry opportunity. This candle was just way too large. It looks good. Do we find support here, or do we come back down into the range? Look at that candle. This is what I'm saying. That, to me, this is trying to get people to continue that long, and they're going to acquire more. They're going to acquire more positions in this consolidations before they really release it higher. That's how I see this. Now, how can you capitalize on that? I think you just stay out completely. I think you stay out completely. Because, yeah, this could just pop higher. Did a nice deep retracement, filled this gap, and maybe it does go higher. At the C of the 1 hour fair value gap. There's a gap right here. I like that gap. And yeah, I think we're reaching up into this. How we get there is the only question that I don't have answered. I mean, it looks like it's just wanting to get there right away. We did a 5-minute rebalance. I like that. Do we find support here and move higher? We're watching these two candles just to see if it wants to get above this level here. It's sitting at 10:45 right now, so we're inside or beginning the next macro period, which could give us that push higher. I think that's possible. So I'm watching this inversion fair value gap that I have marked here that's overlapping with the monthly low. That's really what I'm watching. It's also in line with this fair value gap here. So this fair value gap also we're watching, but I'm wanting to see if it wants to find support around this level here. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Drop a fib on that Wednesday 13 1 hour wick, confluence with the 1 hour fair value gap. So are you saying, Tony, that you think it could reverse here? Or just consolidate? What are you saying? What do you think is going to happen? Put it out there, my friend. Be wrong with me. All right, so we swept this liquidity here, came inside the fair value gap, and potentially closing green. Mitigation block, inversion fair value gap tag. I like that idea for a long. Let's see if it does it here. We head to the previous week high. No way. 21,813. Okay, previous day high. That'd be crazy. Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of moving out that direction. Do you think it happens? Well, I don't think we're hitting that in the AM session. We only have 30 more minutes, 40 more minutes for the AM session. So this candle was a fake out. You see that? Fake out candle. Nice candle. That's why timing is everything. And I don't like mitigation blocks. I'm not a fan of them. It's an area of finding, taking size off. So we're back inside this range. Yeah, we expanded it a little bit. But there's the range. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching this candle here. See how this whole area is mitigated? This candle could come up to this point right here. 1048 candle. Let's see if the 1051 candle stops at that wicks low and then rolls over. So it almost got to it. Didn't quite get there, but it did roll over. So if you guys are looking for me to take another trade, I'm probably not. I took this trade here. I'm going to be done for that. But right now we're just reading order flow, which is great practice. I want to see this wick up into here, and I want to see it reject. I doubt it will right here. I mean, I guess it could. I would like to see it reject. These are how you do like small little scalps. You can do 10 handle scalps on these, on learning to read order flow. Pretty relatively consistently, as long as order flow and how the way order flow is taking place it's decent. It's not crappy price action. As long as the price action is good, you can take scalps, small trades, using just reading the order flow on where you expect the candle to go. Because once we hit that level that I said I wanted to see it reject, well, how much did it give us? It gave us 10 handles. Gave us 23 handles, 30 handles in that expansion lower. See how that one fair value gap is just like a boss right now? I'd like to see it come up, mitigate this, and then expand lower, hit this level, and then maybe drop more if it wanted. All right, so there's your breaker. I'm concerned about taking that because of this right here. So let's see if it can wick into here and still keep the bodies relatively around here. All right, so we wicked up into there. See where the bodies close. We also have this as a potential area right here. Let's see if it wants to give an expansion lower. Let's see if it wants to do that. All right, 10:59. See if it wants to wick up and close lower. I'd like the wick up lower. All right, 11 a.m. Here's an expansion. Looks like it's going to go higher. This is why we got to be careful on those, especially when we have a higher time frame draw. I want to see if we can push through that. Got an inversion right here, a small one. Made a low. 11 a.m. is right in the middle of that range. Let's see if we can make a higher high here. Mitigated this whole area so it doesn't. It actually could just move lower here. See if it wants to. Down into this fair value gap right here, maybe. Reach lower. We haven't closed above this fair value gap yet. A lot of low resistance liquidity right here. There's no fair value gaps. There's nothing here other than this inversion right here. Got an inversion right there. Okay, folks. It's been a little over an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. We're going to call it a day here. Decent day today. We'll be back again tomorrow morning, 9:15 New York Standard Time. We'll be rocking and rolling. You can use the code DTJ if you're looking to take your trading to that next level. There's that candle rejecting. I just was hoping that it was going to do it a little bit down here. So learn, learn, learn. All right, my friend. Well, you guys have a blessed day. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.